Am I going to jail?
Yes, you are.
For how long?
I do not know.
An 18-year-old man with autism now faces 30 years behind bars after he attacked a paraprofessional at his high school.
Don't make your situation any worse than it is, okay?
I'm dead.
What?
I'm dead.
Those closest to him now speaking out.
Prison is a death sentence.
He did a horrific act. There's no way around it. But he's not a criminal.
It was nearly a year ago, on February 21st, 2023, when a then 17-year-old Brendan Depa attacked Joan Naydich, a paraprofessional at his school. It happened at Matanzas High School in Florida, about an hour south of Jacksonville. Naydich had worked in the district for 2 decades at the time of the attack. Officials say Brendan charged at her after she took away his Nintendo Switch. The intense incident was caught on the school's security camera video, but we've chosen not to show the attack because it's too violent. The video does show when Brendan attacks Naydich, rushing at her as her body flies across the room. She hit her head on the floor and was knocked unconscious. Brendan ran toward her and continued the attack by hitting her. In all, she suffered a concussion and broken ribs. Body camera video from the Flagler County Sheriff's Office shows what happened when deputies arrived to the scene to take Brendan into custody.
Stand up for me. Put your hands behind your back. Turn around. Turn the other way. Stay right there. Got it? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Where's this one, buddy?
Hold on. I'm going to take your watch off. You'll get it back. That way it doesn't pinch you. Brendan, your watch is going in your pocket, okay? Watch is in your pocket.
Video shows Brendan ask if he's going to jail, seconds before swearing at the responding deputy, saying he has better places to be.
Am I going to jail?
Yes, you are.
For how long?
I do not know. I don't make that determination.
I'm gonna double lock them.
Deputy King's locking them, so when you sit down, they don't tighten up, okay? Is that your bag?
Yes.
Okay, and this is your laptop?
Yes.
All right, we'll put it all together and we'll get it down. I'm gonna bring them
Here.
Go ahead, go with Deputy King. Look at me. You gonna be cool with Deputy King and I?
You. I don't want to go to jail.
Well, Brendan, look at me. Look at
I
me.
have more important places to be.
I understand.
You can stop manhandling me. It's not like I'm
Nobody's manhandling you, Brendan.
In a separate body camera recording, Brendan is escorted out of the school to a squad car where he's searched.
Just step to the side for me for a sec, okay, Brendan?
Still have your watch in your pocket? Is this your wallet too?
Don't take my
I'm
wallet.
not taking it. Just relax. Okay? I'm putting you in this deputy's car.
We're gonna put all your stuff in an envelope. Hey. Stop. You're gonna get all your stuff. I'm gonna put it in an envelope, all right?
It's then that Brendan begins crying, repeating he's going to die.
Don't make your situation any worse than it is, okay?
I'm dead.
What?
I'm dead.
For his mother, Leanne Depa, a 30-year sentence means the same thing.
Prison is a death sentence.
We sat down with Depa and Jean Lopes, a retired special ed teacher who is now assisting Brendan with his GED program while he's being held in the Flagler County Jail.
Prison would be just the absolute worst alternative. The sheriff and the chief have allowed him to get rehabilitation here. So that's what he needs to continue.
High-speed chases. Unruly suspects.
I will kill that motherfucker.
Tase me?
No.
Do it.
Stay in the blue box.
I like it kinky.
Dramatic DUIs.
I'ma pass everything that you're trying to do.
And shocking body cam footage.
Hey, get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Law&Crime presents Body Cam, the place for real, raw, and wild police videos.
You should have seen it. It was good. It's on body camera. I'll show it to you.
Catch the action and subscribe to our new YouTube channel now.
Depa explains she first met Brendan when he was just 5 months old through the foster care system. She adopted him when he turned 2.
You know, I knew early on that as a baby that he was a real I don't want to use the word needy because all babies need love and attention and everything, but he needed it more than your average baby.
She explains Brendan has a wide variety of diagnoses.
So Brendan is diagnosed with autism, and he originally was diagnosed as a level 2, but the last evaluation they diagnosed him as a level 3. He also has other diagnoses as well. He's got ADHD. He's got a generalized anxiety disorder. He's got explosive, what do you call it? Intermittent explosive disorder.
Depa says she homeschooled Brendan for some time, but made the switch to public schools when there were crises back at home. That's when she says Brendan's medication use began.
I had avoided any kind of heavy-duty psychiatric meds that they frequently recommend for kids with autism that have any behavior issues, things like Abilify. I had avoided all of that because of the side effects. I had read up on it and I was worried. But when we went through all these health crises, I agreed to put him on it just because I was having difficulty managing everything. And I didn't find that they were working, and they were making him gain a ton of weight. That he started gaining. He was an average sized kid until we put him on these medications, and then he started gaining 10 pounds a month. And so where his behaviors really did not get worse, I was having more difficulty if he was to get upset, where in the past I could, wrap my arms around him and hold him until he calmed down. It got to be more difficult with all the weight gain.
Depa says professionals told her there are specific procedures to get Brendan into residential care.
And I knew that we couldn't do it in our home, that he needed to be somewhere long enough to where they could figure out the right medications for him. So we were told that we needed to have a paper trail in order to get him in a residential facility where we could do these things. And that involved multiple Baker Acts. And so we were told anytime that he acted out that we needed to call the police. And then they would, come and Baker Act. And then a couple of times they arrested instead of Baker Acting.
The Baker Act is a Florida law that allows family members to give emergency mental health services to someone who either has mental illness or can't get the help themselves. In the past, Depa says Brendan had been violent. Were there many instances in the past of Brendan getting physical?
With a lot of autistic kids, this is not uncommon. That I'm in groups with families who have children with autism, and they can have meltdowns. That the environment can just set them off. And so no, he definitely had his share of meltdowns.
All this led up to that day last February when Brendan lashed out. What was your reaction when you saw this video of the incident with Brendan hitting and really hurting one of his teachers?
To be honest with you, for the first 5 or 6 months, I didn't watch the video. It was too traumatic for me to watch. I would have my husband watch it and tell me what's on it, or I would have other people telling me what's on it, but I physically could not watch it. Eventually, I knew I had to watch it, and when I did, it was horrifying. That to see your child do something like that, it was just really horrifying.
Depa says Brendan had a history of issues when electronics were taken away. She even outlined that in Brendan's IEP, an individualized education plan for students with special needs.
We shared with the school when he first started there that this was a big concern. We have it in his IEP that that he would be triggered if his Nintendo was taken away, and that the group home that he was living in, that if they ever had to take it away as a consequence for something, that they would call in the crisis team just in case a restraint was needed. That he was okay if it was if it was structured and he knew from this time to this time you have your Nintendo, and then it gets put away for a while, and then you'll get it back again, in 3 or 4 hours, we'll give it to you for another hour. He was fine with all of that, and that wasn't an issue. But if it was ever taken away as a consequence, he could act out. And so we made sure that we told them from the very beginning of this, and it was in his IEP.
After the incident with his para, how did Brendan feel about it? Did he have any reactions or remorse or any comments?
Well, obviously, we've been careful about what we talk about over the phone because it's a recorded line. So I really don't go into any of that with him.
But he is sorry. He is regretful. He understands what he did. He understands, how, that it was wrong. And he also has, and we can talk about this, he has also used his time in jail productively to come up with coping strategies and things that tools that he did not have um, a year ago.
Brendan has spent nearly 1 year in jail. Depa says he spent half that time almost completely alone.
While he was there, because it wasn't safe to put him in with the general population to keep him safe. They kept him in in isolation, and so he was kept in isolation for 6 months, where he was allowed out for 1 hour a day to call me. And while he was there, they stopped all of his medications cold turkey. That he was on 6 psychiatric meds. And, to be a mom and know that your kid is being kept in isolation and that they don't have access to their medications. It was horrifying. It was horrible. And so when people talk about that, a slap on the wrist, I don't know of anybody who could handle 6 months in isolation.
Brendan is now charged with aggravated battery of an education employee. Now Brendan is facing 30 years behind bars. Leanne, as his mother, what would that mean for you?
I mean, death. But he will not be able to understand all of the dynamics and the unwritten rules, and he'll be a target.
Lopes agrees, saying Brendan isn't emotionally equipped for prison.
But Brendan is not in a position now to go into a population of criminals. He did a horrific act. There's no way around it. But he's not a criminal. He's not a drug user.
We reached out to Joan Naydich, the paraeducator who Brendan attacked, for this story. So far, we haven't heard back. Brendan was originally scheduled for a sentencing hearing this week, but that was pushed back. It's now tentatively set for March. Reporting for Law&Crime, I'm Gillespie.